Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who's new, I'm Leorah and I'm so glad you found me. So welcome to today's video, which is going to be me playing with this one. This is the Mercury Retrograde Palette from Huda Beauty, and I know this is not a new product at all, but you know what? Also the things that are already on the market for some time deserve some love and attention, and I actually got this some time ago, not too long ago, from my bestie in Europe because she gifted this to me for reaching 2,000 subscribers. Now I reached 2,000 at some point, and then it really went fast to 3,000, which I'm super grateful for because I'm super grateful for everybody who's here. But anyway, I had this, I received this when I was close to 3,000 subscribers. So anyway, this is what we're playing with today, and I loved this palette from the second I saw it when it launched. I wanted it so bad, but I know, if I'm completely honest with myself, I would probably never have bought it if it would have been myself, you know? So anyway, it's a beautiful palette. It is super lovely, it is super gentle, super soft, super romantic. So if that is something that you're vibing with, you know, this might just be the one. So anyway, this is the packaging. This is how it looks from the outside. It is plastic, and then on the back here you have the ingredients and all kinds of information in different languages. Yeah, I just had to double check. There is definitely Arabic, there is definitely French, and there is English. So anyway, there's something for everybody. All right, sweeties, so this is what we're going to do today. I did already 2 looks with this palette, and I'm going to just pop them up on top of me now while I'm talking, so you can see them. So the first one, I actually went into those teal shades because I just really that is so magical, this whole corner with the teals and the purples. So that is also the look that you saw in one of my recent new makeup releases videos, because I don't know when this video here is going to go live, so I don't want to say it was the last one or it was the one before the last one, but anyway, that was like a purple look, and I did also then do a glittery purple eyeliner together with that look. So that was that one, and then my second one was one where I used basically the berry shades in this palette, and that was also super beautiful. A very simple, actually simple smoky eye, classic smoky eye. But yeah, so that is what I did, and basically with those 2 looks I covered all the depth in the palette, mostly, for the most part. So now today I want to actually do something that has been super requested, because every time I'm posting a neutral look on my social media, everybody is like, whoa. Which is so funny, because actually the neutral looks are really easy to recreate, and like compared to what I usually do, they go super fast and they are just super easy, you know? Yeah, so that's what we're going to do today. And I hope that's not a letdown, but I have to say, every single time I do post a look like this, there is at least, I don't know, a couple of requests for a tutorial for this, which is kind of crazy because, you know, there are so many tutorials for these neutral, natural, glam kind of a look. But anyway, so that's what we're going to do today, because apparently you want me to do this. Which is fine with me, because I actually really like how I look when I'm using neutrals, you know? So we're gonna do the following today. I want to still use this one because I have not used that yet. This is like a kind of a peachy tone, but it leans also a little bit more towards, I would say, towards a pinkish, like a light soft pink. But I don't know, because I haven't touched it yet. Sometimes it can be misleading. And then I want to also use this one to deepen it up a tiny little bit. Of course, there is not like a super huge difference. If there should be a need, maybe I will go into this one just to give it a little bit more depth. I don't know yet. It depends how it turns out. So for the lid, I think I'm going to use this shade here. Alright, because everything else I've used, besides this one, this taupey shade, I haven't used yet. But anyway, I think I'm going to go for like a lovely peachy look today. So that's what we're trying to do. I'm going to zoom you in so I don't forget. All right, so let me just pick up a brush here. Which one? This one. And we're going to go into that first shade, Utopia. That is this peachy kind of a shade. Yeah, looks pretty peachy on the brush. And wait, I have creased. Oh, says the 41-year-old. Alright, so let's just go in and try to do like a really lovely kind of a look. Like a wedding makeup kind of a look, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's super unusual because I never, even if I do looks like this, I really don't film them ever, because I always thought that, you know, who needs me to do a neutral look, you know, like really. It's not really super much my style, and most people who are on my channel don't come here for that kind of a content. But, you know, maybe you're going to watch it anyway. Alright, so anyway, I think that this whole palette is actually super surprising and really pretty, more than one would even think, you know. And I don't want to take too much away from my review part, but I have to say that really in the second look, no, in the first look, the one with those teal shades, the second my brushes touched those colors, I was in love, you know. I started of course with the mattes because that's how I do makeup, and I was like, wow, they are so soft and so velvety and really nice to work with. So yeah, I was absolutely in love. So what I'm going to do now is actually to blend this out a little bit more. I'm going to use this shade because this one I've tried already, and this one actually in the pan, it doesn't look too much like it leans pinkish, but because it's like a bone color matte, but it leans pinkish because I have tried that for blending out purposes already. And I just want to recommend to you that if you don't want to have something pinkish going up here, then don't use it for that purpose, okay? So anyway, I hope one can see it once I put it on, that it actually leans pinkish a little bit. Like, not super pink, but you know, I'm pretty like neutral when it comes to my skin tone. So I definitely, maybe you can see it, that it is definitely not like a neutral, you know what I mean? So anyway, this is, what is this brush? This is the Sigma E35. I have had this brush for quite some time, and I only now discovered that I actually really like it. I haven't used it for probably, I don't know, half a year or more, and now I'm starting to feel like this is so nice for blending out the shades here on the top part, but it's a very big brush. So if you have a very small eye space, then this is not gonna be for you probably. Okay, I think I'm going to back this up a little bit more and just push on a little bit more. I also want to use another brush that I just got from Shop Miss A or Shop Miss A, or I don't know, whatever it's called, because I don't know, it was like $6 or $3, maybe, I think $3 or $2, I don't know. It was super inexpensive, and I just want to try stuff like this, you know, because if I can spend $2 on a brush, why should I spend $18 on a brush? You know, seriously. So this is the E141 from Shop Miss A or Shop Miss A, and I'm going to go back into this Utopia shade, which is the one that we used already, and I just want to sort of fluff this on. And really, I want to say that this brush feels phenomenal, you know. It feels super soft and fluffy. Now, I don't know how it's gonna feel once it has been washed, because of course I'm going through a very strict washing routine every single day with my brushes. There is not a single brush that is dirty in my collection, and so I'll have to let you know how they hold up during washing, but I would say that this is working well. Alright, so just a tiny little bit more, because, you know, even if it is going to be a soft and neutral look, I still want it to show up, you know. I don't want it to be like this kind of neutral look where it's like no makeup look, you know, because I'm doing makeup in order to do makeup and to actually have makeup that one can see. But anyway, it's going to be soft and it's going to be pretty much lovely. Okay, one more time I'm going to go in with my Sigma brush in the shade, let me see, what is this called? Momentum. That is that bone color matte, that pinkish leaning bone color matte, and I'm just going to sort of fluff that here over the edges. And then I think we're already ready to go in with the shimmer shade. So, you know, you can see how really fast this goes. You know, neutral looks like this. really fast. Okay, I think that's how I'm gonna leave it with, and I'm going to take a packing brush and I'm gonna go now into this shade that I already mentioned before, which is Galaxy. I have a bit of a hard time reading the shade names because they're super light and kind of holographic, and it's like this white packaging and then also the light shade names. It's a bit of a thing. Anyway, so let's go into this shimmer shade. So my brush is not wet and nothing. It's gonna be super light. Yeah, so because this is like a champagne-y, rosy leaning shade, I'm just going to sort of push it also into the, or upwards towards the crease a little bit. I'm wondering if I should use also another one. Maybe I should, you know what? Maybe I should do that just to make it a tiny little bit more interesting. But this is definitely also a little bit leaning towards like a super soft pinkish tone. Alright, something like that. Now I'm going to take another brush, and I think just to stay within the theme, you know, I think I'm going to go into this one here, which is Supernova. This one I've used already in a different look, probably in the second one with all the berry tones. I don't remember stuff like this, I'm so sorry, but I'm just guessing because it would make sense. So this is super pretty. This is a pretty reflective kind of a pink. It definitely has duochromy characteristics to it, and it's just, you know, a tiny little bit darker. Maybe you can see it. Alright, so let's just go in also with the finger and just back it up a little bit. So this is the first shade right here, like this, and then the second shade is right here. Okay, then basically what I always do in looks like this, I go in with that first brush that I applied the corally shade with, the shade Utopia, and I'm putting on some pigment, not a lot, and I'm just sort of dragging that loosely without a lot of pressure over that borderline between the shimmer shade and the matte. And that is basically it. Okay, so for the outer corner, I'm going to take a more fluffy packing brush, and I think I'm going to use that darker shade, this shade here that I showed you already before, and that is the shade Hot Mess. That is so cute. It's funny because, you know, in the looks that I did so far, I didn't even pay attention to the shade names. So it's actually really cool that I'm talking to you about this now, so I get to discover a little bit more about the palette. Okay, sweeties, now, you know what, I'm going to drag this a tiny little bit over here into the crease, but now I'm going to go in with that fluffy brush from Shop Misa, and I'm going into this first shade again, into the corally shade, and just sort of drag it here over that border between the darker shade and the coral shade, just so I have a smoother transition between the two. And then after that, I'm going to go back into that darker shade, the Hot Mess shade, and I'm just going to back it up a little bit more because it sort of has lost the quality of its color a little bit because I put that corally shade on top of it. So you can see, I'm putting sparkles all over myself. You can see that basically all I do is going back and forth and doing the same thing. It's like, you know, but that's life. That's in a lot of things in life. That's how you proceed, right? So anyway, this is what it is, and I'm just going to go back and forth in order to blend those two together as well as I can, or as good as I can. I don't know. Grammar. Alright, sweeties, never mind the sparkles. I just had an itch here and I thought I need to scratch myself, but I still had the sparkles on my fingers, so I'm going to clean that up in a second. Now I'm just going to go into the shade, what was it called? Supernova, the one that hits the matte here, and I'm just going to sort of reapply it a little bit because I kind of ruined it a little bit when I put on the matte, and that is basically it, you know? So I'm going to do exactly the same on my other eye and finish my foundation, and then I'm going to come back and we'll do the under eye area together. Okay, sweeties, this is how it looks right now. There might be still some lash glue drying or not. It's hard to tell, maybe not. But anyway, so this is how we look now. My foundation is on. I haven't done any contouring or anything like that yet. And I think it is actually really, really lovely and sweet and romantic. As I told you in the beginning, that this is how it would look, and this is what we got. Now, for the lower lash line, I think I want to do something gold and keep it super, super light, because it sort of opens up the eye, you know, like visually, or I don't know, it gives you the impression of having a very, very open eye look. And also if you have smaller eyes, then it just opens up the eye more, you know. So I think what I want to do is that I'm just going to do a shimmery kind of shade like this one here, which is actually a gold shade, and I think that's what I'm just going to push under my waterline. On my waterline, I do have a rose gold kind of a shade. Where do I have it? It's this one here. It's going to be linked in the description box, of course. This is from Maybelline. It's called a Lasting Drama Light Liner in the shade, highlight bronze. Okay, yeah, so anyway, this is what it's called. It's going to be linked. I don't know if it's still available. It's quite old, but anyway, just use anything that is light. All right, so now I'm going to go in the shade Gold Glitch, and I think I'm just going to sort of, you know, have something shiny under my lower lash line. I could even go with just like a hint of it, you know. This actually this is cute. And then for the inner corner, I think I'm gonna go into this white shade. I'm gonna show you in just a second. So here I'm gonna go in with very, very little product. Okay, so if you see just a hint, then this is on purpose. Okay, I did not go in with a big bang. And now I'm just going to take my bone color mat and just sort of blend this out a little bit. And then for the inner corner, oh, this is so cute. This is cute. I think this is cute. All right, so for the inner corner, I'm going to use a hint of this one. Okay, so this is like a white shimmer. This is called Super Moon. I've used this for something already. I don't know what it was. It was probably also an inner corner kind of a situation. And I'm going to try to keep this pretty small. This is probably the wrong brush for this. This is probably too big to keep it small, because usually I use this kind of a brush for my inner corner, but usually I have them pretty big, you know. But in this case, where the whole look is sort of subdued a little bit, I kind of want to keep it really, really small. So maybe I should switch brushes. 1 second, I have some fallout here. All right, maybe let's go in with a pencil brush, or I don't know, maybe this one. Is this better? We shall see. Let's just use random brushes and then I have to wash them all. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so basically I'm just going to sort of stamp it on and not wiggle around too much, and sort of like gently blend it into the surroundings. Yeah, something like this. Okay, so basically I'm gonna do that on the other eye. I'm gonna apply some mascara, finish off my face, then you're gonna see these swatches, and then I'm gonna come back and tell you what my verdict is of this palette. So I don't think it's gonna be much of a surprise what I will think about the palette, but please come back anyway and spend some more friendship time with me, because I really like to have you here. So I'll see you in just a second. Okay, my lovelies, here we are with the finished styling, with the finished look, and I have to say, yes, it is super, super soft. It is super dreamy, and I love it. And I know that I look good with this, and I have absolutely nothing against looking good. So anyway, you just saw the swatches. I still have them here. And I mean, seriously, when you look at this, it is such a beautiful color scheme. I mean, really, what else does one want, Really, it is so beautiful. Now, shade range wise, we do have, of course, a few darker shades here. Like if you have really dark skin tone, I think this is gonna be a hard palette to work with, because I don't know, it should be hard, but because we have a lot of light stuff going on here, you know, it is, you know, I don't know if it is very friendly for all skin tones, but I don't know. You have to try. You let me know. Okay, so anyway, I just think that for me, this is perfect. For me, this is perfect because it does have a lot of light. It has a lot of darkness to it. You know, for me, that is just the perfect range, the perfect balance in this palette. And then also the added luxury of these beautiful shades here, especially also this one. This came as a total surprise. It is, let me show you in the palette. It is this shade right here, this one. It doesn't look very spectacular in the palette. It's the shade Nebula. Okay, so the shade Nebula, but it is sort of a hybrid between a light lavender and a silver, or yeah, a silver or a gray. You know, it is absolutely beautiful. So yeah, and besides that, also this one is also stunning. The shimmers in the palette are absolutely stunning, super beautiful. And you probably saw it also in the swatches in the video, that they were like sparkly and shiny and foiled and really beautiful. So talking about the mattes, I have absolutely no complaints. I have used everything besides that one. Where is that now? Is it this one? I'll find it in the palette. I find it easier. This one here. That I haven't used. Everything else I've used in the palette. And I have to say that everything worked so well. They are super velvety, super easy to work with. Of course, it's also the color scheme, you know, because these colors, they blend into each other because it's natural. They're sort of all more or less one family, you know, so it's easy to blend them anyway. But with these kinds of mattes, the formula of the mattes is just absolutely spectacular. So nice. I'm like, I cannot find anything wrong with this palette, you know, and I'm so glad. Yeah, anyway, so again, packaging, the whole thing is super nice. Maybe you can see the whole holographic effect here, maybe not, but anyway, there is one. And then of course you have here a very nice big mirror. It is very bougie packaging, even though it is plastic, you know, it feels very sturdy. It doesn't feel cheap at all, and it shouldn't feel cheap because this palette is an expensive baby, you know, like for me, this is high-end. I don't know how other people consider it, but for me, this is something that I would think 10 times about buying, you know. So anyway, the artwork is super beautiful, and everything is beautiful about this palette. Seriously, everything is beautiful about this palette. Now again, if you have a darker complexion, it might be hard for you to work with this. I mean, let's be honest, you know, there is probably not a lot you can do with this. But for me personally, just speaking about me, Leorah, because, you know, I'm the one who's trying this for you now. And if you have a similar complexion to me, then maybe you should consider this, you know, because Black Friday is coming up, you know. I have no idea what Huda is going to come up with concerning discounts and stuff on Black Friday. But anyway, I mean, if this is a color scheme that you've been looking for, if you have been oogling this palette and lusting after this palette for some time, and you were just waiting for someone to tell you go ahead and buy it, now I don't want to tell anyone go ahead and buy an expensive palette, because, you know, it's if you have to buy food or makeup, then go and buy food, okay? But if you have the funds and if you want to have this palette, you do have my blessing, because this is an amazing palette. Everything is beautiful about this palette. So just saying that was an absolutely beautiful experience, and I also got to do a sort of neutral look for you because that was also highly requested. So now I can go back to colors. Anyway, I just enjoy colors. What can I do? But I also do enjoy this. It makes me feel super safe, loved, sweet, like really balanced and good. You know, there is nothing wrong with this. Don't ever think that just because I'm mostly super colorful that I look down at these looks. Not at all. Okay, it's just that I have a lot of colorful makeup, and that is my focus, my main focus, and that's why you see me most of the time like this, you know. But there is nothing wrong with this. And if you are one of those people who watch me just to see someone else being colorful but yourself prefer to be like this, that is absolutely fine. absolutely fine. Okay, so there is nothing wrong with all of us being different and all of us having our comfort zone. Okay, before we go, I just want to quickly zoom you in because I completely forgot that I have to do that. So let me just show you close up what we did. I mean, you saw it, but still you get to see the finished look. And yeah, and there is no staining as far as I can tell. No, from the previous looks, of course, you know, when I used all the berry tones, I did not have any staining. I didn't have any fading. I didn't have anything where I could say, wow, this would persuade me to not want to have this palette. You know, I just think I should go out a little bit more. So anyway, this is it, sweeties. I hope this was helpful to you. And yeah, so let me know what you think. What do you think about me being neutral? And about this palette, of course. Do you have it? Do you love it? Or is there anything where you say, well, this doesn't work with me? I would really, really like to know, because, you know, we can always talk about that. So anyway, this is that. I hope if you're new here that you would consider subscribing to my channel, because I would love for you to join. And besides that, of course, you will find everything that I used in the description box down below, together with all my discount codes for different brands. If you want to save some money, feel free to do so. They are also marked. The ones that are affiliated, they are marked, so you will know, you know, which ones are affiliated. So anyway, all right, so I will see you here next time for my next video, and up until then, definitely go ahead and sparkle. Hugs and kisses. Bye.